Hello, my name is Brooklyn Patrocki, and this is my Microteaching 1. Today, my Microteaching lesson will be on common greetings in English. My target group is Japanese adult learners in an L2 English program, level 0 to 1, possessing minimal English language skills. This lesson is intended to be introductory. By the end of the lesson, learners should be able to use common greetings appropriately in English and should be able to respond to common greetings appropriately in English. The materials needed for this will be slides with the greetings, as well as pictures or GIFs to enhance the understanding of terms like morning or evening and how they pertain to greetings. So let's get started. The common greetings we will be going over are hello, hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and how are you? So first, I'd like you to repeat after me. Hello. Hello. Hi. Hi. Good morning. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good evening. Good evening. How are you? How are you? Our first two common greetings are hello and hi. These greetings can be used any time of the day and are interchangeable. So if somebody says hello to you, you can say hi back. You can also use hello or hi in many different situations, and it is appropriate for formal and informal settings. Then we have good morning. This is only said at the beginning of the day. We also have good afternoon, which is only said in the afternoon, and good evening, which is said when you greet somebody in the evening or very beginning of the night. Lastly, we have how are you. This can also be said at any time, but let's talk about it further. How are you and what it means. How are you does not directly translate into Japanese. This means that there is not a phrase that has the exact same meaning. There is a phrase, though, that is similar. How are you most closely translates as genki desu ka? But there are some differences. Genki desu ka is normally only asked to somebody who you've not seen in a while. It would be very uncommon to ask it to somebody who you see every day. However, how are you can be asked to someone you see often or daily and is even expected and considered polite. Unlike genki desu ka, which most closely translates to are you well or are you healthy, how are you is not always asked in relation to somebody's health. How are you can be asked about someone's mood, a specific situation you might know that they're going through, or just as a polite question and greeting as we use it here. So now that we better understand what how are you means, we can learn how to combine greetings. Let's read through each of the following. Hello plus how are you becomes hello, how are you? Hi plus how are you becomes hi, how are you? Good morning plus how are you becomes good morning, how are you? Good afternoon plus how are you becomes good afternoon, how are you? And good evening plus how are you becomes good evening, how are you? At this point, I encourage you to pause the video or rewind if necessary to go through those again and repeat each of them. Moving on, we want to talk about how we respond to these greetings. So when somebody says hello or hi, it is expected to respond back and would be considered rude to not say anything. So if somebody says hi or hello, you can say each of the following. Hi, hello, good morning if it is the morning, good afternoon if it is the afternoon, good evening if it is the evening, or one of the combined greetings that we just discussed, like, hi, how are you? Or hello, how are you? If somebody says good morning to you, you can use the following greetings. The same greeting, as in good morning, hi, hello, or any of the above plus how are you. This is the same for good afternoon and good evening. If somebody says good morning to you, you cannot say good evening in response. Or if somebody says good evening, you could not say good morning in response because it's not the morning time. So it's very important to remember that with good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, the same greeting needs to be used, or you can use hi or hello or any of the above plus how are you. Responding to how are you is a bit different though. Responding to how are you has more that it's expected of it. So while there are many ways to respond to how are you, today we'll cover the most common responses. Some of the most common responses to how are you are, I'm well. How are you? I'm well. And you? I'm well. Thank you. I'm fine. I'm good. Or simply, good. Each of these things indicates a positive response to how are you, which in most greeting situations, especially with new people, it is polite to give a positive response. So later we'll discuss more responses to how are you and what those could be depending on the nature or the relationship you have with somebody is. But for now, for this micro-teaching, we'll only focus on positive, polite responses for greetings. So again, I encourage you to go back, pause the video if you need to, or rewind and go through and repeat each of these responses to how are you? Lastly, I'd like to practice these greetings. Hello, and you can say somebody's name after that. So, for example, hello, Ken. How are you? A proper response to this would be, I'm well, thank you. How are you? Another example is, good morning. Good morning. How are you? I'm well, thanks. How are you? So each of these has a lot of possibilities, and there's a lot of different options you have when you're greeting somebody. So I encourage you to try different responses, either with a partner or in a group setting when possible. And I also encourage you to go back to the video as needed to practice pronunciation and pause to practice responding to different greetings with different responses. Thank you for your